So there's a video of Floyd Mayweather holding up Logan Paul after he knocked him out in the rounds, showing a Willie D live. I'm just laughing. Floyd said he was going to punish him, and he held him up. Can you imagine Logan Paul's surprise when Floyd's holding him up and waking him up, telling him, "Wake up, wake up, come on, man, you got." And it's John the Don voice from Battle Rap URL. You got a few more rounds of me whipping that ass. Bars. Floyd started fucking him up again. I mean, what you thought was supposed to happen? Floyd, this dude was a novice. You know what I'm saying? Floyd was just schooling. Floyd walked him down, was beating on him. This dude was, only thing he could do was try to wrestle. He had a wrestling background, like Floyd said. He was hugging him and trying to throw shots in, and he was fighting for his dear life. And Floyd was showing him how real it was with them hands. That jab was harder than any of Logan Paul's punches. And Floyd was just moving him around, doing whatever he wanted with him. It's an exhibition. What you was supposed to get from it was Floyd is the best. And anybody that's in boxing right now, that's up and coming, especially like the young guys, that's not really getting fights yet, and even some of the guys that just started getting fights, watch that and get some jewels from what Floyd was doing. In case you're fighting a guy with longer arms than you, or a little bit bigger than you, or taller than you. There was a lot of things you could learn from that fight. Just take that with all the gifts he was giving in that fight, showing you what he could do and showing what can be done. Even in case you're fighting somebody in the same weight class, but he might be having more lankier than you. Floyd was showing you what you could do if you got more power than him, or if you got more experience than him, or you train better than him. He's showing you what can happen. So I would just tell everybody, just take from what it was. And Floyd's the best. Money team. You know what I mean? He told him he was going to beat him, and that's payback. This YouTuber was whipping on everybody that he's fighting that was novices. He was taking his boxing serious, though, so let's give him credit for that. He was trying to take his boxing serious, but it's a difference in levels, and it's showing you now. And one of the things was said, it might have been in the contract for him not to knock him out, but it's funny that Floyd had him and held him up so he wouldn't knock out, because he wanted to give the people their money's worth. It's entertainment. It's a show. He was having fun in there. I know Logan Paul was hurting, like, oh shit, like, was this over? Like, please let me go. Let me fall. He said, nah, wake up, come on. Let's go, champ. Got a few more rounds of me whipping that ass. Bars. Shout out to John the Don. You know what I mean? Money team. What you thought was supposed to happen? And that was his brother's fault for popping shit to Floyd, you know what I mean? Starting, like, poking the bear. He started that. Floyd said he's going to take it out on him. Let's see if his brother want to fight also. Money team. Yeah, I saw a lot of good shots. Floyd had a lot of nice counters. He couldn't hit Floyd when Floyd was being evasive. Shoulder roll. Came back with the classic counter punches. Bam! Bam! Just hitting him. That jab was punishing. That goes into like another segment if you're thinking about Clarissa Shields going to MMA. She was breaking it down on one of her segments how there's a difference between a boxer's jab and an MMA jab. The MMA guys they throw the jab like for measurement. They're not really trying to hit you. They hit you a little bit, but it's not punishing. The boxer, they could punish you with the jab if they use the tool effectively. So that's one thing I would say for boxers. They're watching it. The reason why I'm saying that is because when I was in high school, our football coach, shout out to Brian Williams, Truman High School, Mustangs. He always used to have us watching college football, so we could, and those things to see that we can learn. So if you're an athlete or if you're into a certain sport or a field, you should watch these games and learn from them. So if you're playing basketball, watch college NBA games, watch professional NBA games, and you're supposed to be learning what's going on in the game. So you see these veterans doing things, you have to catch what they're doing and be able to see if you can apply it in your game. So you're a boxer, see what Floyd was doing in these exhibitions, and see if you can learn something from that. And take that, because he's giving out free gifts to people when he does these exhibitions. He's showing more things. A lot of your boxers probably can't even go to, they might not be able to get to go to his gym. So when he does these exhibitions, he's opening up to y'all and showing you some stuff. Just take it and learn, whether you're young, older. See what you can learn from the exhibition. Even though the novice is looking at it just for entertainment, nah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there that you can see, like, oh, okay, the basics, like stuff like footwork, anything else. Oh wow, you can just really analyze it and see. Oh okay, it was simple stuff. I'm gonna take from a guy that was showing doing martial arts. He was a jujitsu sifu, which is like a sensei master. He was making a joke. Somebody was asking what level is he. He said, "I'm a really advanced white belt." And he would just laugh, and then everybody was like, "Huh?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's what a black belt is. A really advanced white belt. You mastered the basics. You don't the basics. You don't let go of the basics. Everything starts with the basics. You just expound on it. You go back to it and expound on it." So I would say anybody that's watching that fight that's in a boxing background or any combat sport background, don't take it as, oh, it's BS, it was exhibition, or they got everybody. No, really look at it and see what you can find, you can grasp from it and learn from it. Just look at it with your skill, with your eyes, because you're not looking at the eyes of a novice. You're looking at the eyes of a guy that has a person, a male or female, that has experience in combat sports, whether it be boxing or MMA or any type of combat sport. What can you learn from that? That's something important. But I'm getting ready. I want to see Clarissa Shields fight her MMA debut. She's been practicing with John Bones Jones, Holly Holmes, and it's another sister that was a Olympic wrestler. I just joined her IG, but I forgot her name. But she's talented. If you go on some of the pages where it shows Clarissa Shields practicing with her, somebody put her name in there. I can't recall the name right now. But they're having fun, and she's showing her a lot of things, and Clarissa's learning, like she's adapting, because that game plan is basically don't throw away the boxing. Let's use everything and work around the boxing. So I saw Clarissa improving, and just she was showing her how to do like a stop a takedown, and then Clarissa immediately went in and, oh, I could throw like an uppercut in here right here, or a hook after I'm clinching. And she's like, yeah, that's good, that's good. But this girl that's wrestling, she's nice. She's in the Olympics, and that's the Olympic alumni club. They over there passing off jewels to her, because she's doing something that no one has ever did. That she's jumping in her prime into MMA from boxing, and boxing doesn't get a lot of respect in MMA, even though a lot of MMA people do study boxing. But because of like the competition, they don't want to promote it, or like the UFC doesn't want to promote it. But a lot of people have been showing and proving that, okay, if I have a wrestling background, I could jump into boxing and use that to keep people standing up and be more deadly with my hands. Because a lot of guys, they don't know what to do on a stand-up, especially if they don't have a background of striking, of kicking and punching. If you keep them off the floor, like Tyron Woodley, he's a wrestler. He keeps people standing up on purpose because he's been training in boxing. You can't take him down. He's a wrestler. So he keeps you standing up. Now you're in an element that you're not used to. You can't do the takedown, and he just picking you apart with the boxing. There's a couple other fighters that was before him that was doing the same thing. They were wrestlers, and they started practicing a little boxing just to get their hands up, and they were just picking people apart. It was hard for people to deal with them, because in the beginning you do have to stand up. You have to throw some punches or kicks. Everybody's not a kicking expert, so if you're not that proficient in kicking, if you're not from a background of karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, your kicks are not going to be that sharp. They're going to be a little sloppy. So people don't have, they have to just block it. If they could get around it, you have to deal with them hands. I'm trying to remember the other guy's name. That was Rashad Evans. Yeah, Rashad Evans. He was a wrestler, but he was doing boxing also. And we watched him in a UFC reality show. He was tearing people apart with the hands, and what he did was good. He disguised his wrestling, and he stood up for the most part and fought people with the hands. And then by the time they try to go to the ground, they would beg you to go to the ground, and they didn't realize they were out of element, because like he was in his element when he went to the ground. He's a wrestler, but he never really showed it in the competition. Like, even though they tell everybody's background, but every time they did the fights, he focused on stand up and like striking, mainly boxing, do some kicks here and there, and then when they try to take him down, he would immediately like do a maneuver to counter what they're doing, put him on the ground and just ground and pound him. They couldn't get out. Another guy, he's not a boxer. He was he did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. He's a Hall of Famer in the UFC MMA world. Nagaro. He had them hands, and he could take a lot of punishment too. I noticed like he would. I noticed like early when I was watching him, he would stand up and he was a better striker than most people with the hands. He would do kind of like Spanish style boxing, or his hands was out like this, almost like kickboxing type of thing. And he would just stand there and he would throw strikes and throw punches. And I noticed he was not focusing on his jujitsu and not taking people down. And because I guess he realized early a lot of people can't stand there and throw punches. So he would stay there and throw punches and trade punches off the guys, and he would whip them on a stand up. And then when they tried to take him to the ground, it was once they would beg to go to the ground, they would try to take him down. When they take him down, it was over. All he did was like wrap him up in a submission or just flipped him over and just ground and pounded him. And it was like they thought they was being safe by going to the ground, and it was like he was schooling them on a stand up. And it was like when they go to the ground, it was over. It was like, yo, he's a black belt, and I forgot. I think he had more than 1 degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it's like you go down on the ground, you thinking, oh man, he's tearing me up at the hands. Let's do a takedown real quick. Let me go for a leg sweep. Even if you got the leg sweep successfully, he already got you wrapped up in in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Triangle choke. Did it with his legs, did it with his arms, or he just flip you over and then he'd be on his back and still tearing people up. Then put him in a chokehold and submission. He'll always get out, get you in a rear naked choke. But I'm waiting to see Clarissa Shields do her thing. I want to see what's going on because we gotta see when could she be ready to fight Amanda Nunes. That's what everybody's looking for. This is gonna be her welcoming party. Everybody's gonna tune in. I'm gonna try to get a good location to go watch that fight. Probably from the house. Order it on pay-per-view. Sit there, get my little drink on, get some nice little food, and enjoy the festivities. Team G.W.O.A.T, Team Money Team. Heck yeah.